Ladies and gentlemen,
Welcome to this podcast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
let's go!
And welcome to another podcast. Good evening, everyone. Good morning and good night for those watching or listening around the world. We are back.
Yes, we are.
We are back. I hope you guys enjoyed the new sounds that you guys heard at the beginning. Those are pretty snazzy. It's just a little bit to kind of revamp our Tap Project podcast. We haven't been around for a while. We've been working pretty hard on the project, and we just thought we'd just hit it back up to the community, eh, Hugh?
Yeah. It's been a while. We've just been heads down, just working. So it's good to get back out. Try to make this a regular thing again. Fire up the podcast.
And even if it can't be regular, because we do have things that we do need to focus on, but every once in a while, it's definitely good that we can jump back in and give you guys a little bit of heads up of what's been going on. And for those of you who are new, I know we had a lot jump into the community recently. My name is Hanif Knight. I am one of the co-founders of the Tap Project, and I'm with.
Hugh.
That's it.
That's it. That's all you get.
All right. Well,
Sorry.
he's one of the other co-founders of the Tap Project. He obviously forgot what he was doing. But no, I'm just kidding. Well, no, it's been great. It's been a blast. I thank you guys for tuning in and joining us and listening in one more time. And again, I thank everyone and all the new people and those who are sticking out and listen to the Tap Project and us. And just again, another note, guys. We are just two co-founders telling our story a little about the Tap Project, a little bit of blockchain gaming, and anything that essentially we're going to be talking about today. And I don't know what that might be, but you never know where that will lead us. So this is not any sort of financial advice or crypto advice or do your own thing, do your research. We're just talking. That's it.
Yeah. We always say do your own research. It's still the same. Do your own research. We're just chit chatting. Get a little bit of insight from co-founders. What we think, what the project is doing, where the project is heading, some of the things we've been working hard on, which has been quite a lot, a lot behind the scenes. So that's, like you said it earlier, that's why we've been a little bit quiet, but always good to provide some updates.
And let's get to it. So today we're going to be providing some updates, a little bit about what we've done in the past, and a little bit of recap, a little bit of background knowledge for those, as I said, new jumping into the show. We're going to be also talking about, as I said, what we've been working on, the new updates coming out in the next month or so, and kind of what we're going to be going forward to. And we'll give a little sneak peek to our next show, but we'll hit that up with, we'll end it off with some gaming, blockchain gaming, kind of where we see the space in right now. So let's get to it. And for those of you who are just jumping in, the Tap Project is a visionary project that allows essentially gamers to be able to have the dream of converting their in-game currencies to different games and traversing multiple games, multi-platforms, universally connected through a one wallet. That is a Tap Project on a whole. So Hugh, do you have any sort of updates? I know we've been doing some stuff in the background. I know with the XP system.
Where to start? Where to start?
Well, let's start a little bit about what is the XP system, and maybe where did it come from? What was the desire for the XP system? And then we can kind of lead into what it means.
Because we're focused, the project is focused in the gaming space, and one of the things we're big gamers. So one of the things we looked at and said, is there a way that we can add some gamification to the platform, right? A bit of challenge, a bit of grind, get down to that gaming mentality. And so one of the things we did is we said, okay, let's introduce XP or experience points, right? For those that are on the platform, that are in the games, that are grinding out to be able to gain that experience. So now, when you're grinding, when you're earning, when you're converting, when you're on the challenges, when you're entering in the tournaments, that all goes towards your experience points, and that experience point gets you somewhere, gets you something at the end of the day, so that you feel like all that hard work that you put in to the platform, into your games, continues to pay off.
And it's something that's normal for gamers, right? Every gamer knows about experience points on some level, whether you're a hardcore gamer and currently playing a game right now that just came out, Destiny 2, where you're grinding to 950 light and getting that raid gear, but all players know about XP and what it takes to actually level up their characters. And that's essentially what we wanted to bring to the Tap platform. So we have been working hard on the XP system, and there's a little bit of, as Hugh said, gamification. And I know you guys will be see some things that you'll like. There's some badge systems, challenge systems to be able to kind of level up your characters. Some prestige there, some
Yeah,
prestige.
yeah, definitely.
When you level up in Call of Duty or something, and you go through level 1, 2, 3, and then your banner gets bigger. And Overwatch, it gets gold and shiny and stuff like that. There's a little bit of prestige, some bragging rights.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
everyone loves some bragging rights and looking gold, right? So we have that XP system there to familiarize yourself with, see something essentially familiar in the platform, and that's kind of like the gaming methods, essentially gaming mechanics.
Yeah, and I think it sort of ties in. I guess it ties into the whole drip, right? From the beginning, we always wanted to lay a bit of a roadmap to this transition towards, drip system into staking system into, something more is coherent, something more holistic, something that the platform just continues to run and work, in that environment without a lot of intervention in that decentralized space. And so it just seemed like a natural fit just to tie in some experience points, leveling up, badges, rewards, things just kind of move along, and that drives you towards this whole staking thing,
Right.
which is like our proof of mastery, which we'll kind of cover a bit later.
Well, we can cover it now because you
Oh,
brought it up. But you did mention staking, and I know we just released an article, maybe about a couple weeks now, last week, kind of about a token report and what is essentially the proof of mastery. And it was a very, very detailed paper, and good job, Hugh, on yourself on writing that in terms of technicalities. And for those kind of to other blockchain gaming enthusiasts or developers, we essentially wrote it that technical so that you guys have an idea. For those who are kind of really deep down in the blockchain rabbit hole, I know, just a shout out to Blockchain Gaming. I know we did a presentation, and he was Andrew Wagner. He was super ecstatic about the proof of mastery, and he was just hounding me. And Hugh, you were there for it, but you weren't able to make that meet. But he was just hounding me because he was super excited. So we wrote it really technical to kind of on that high level to allow those people who really want to dive in and be able to use the system, because we want to promote this kind of as a new way to adapt for blockchain gaming, because current systems right now for staking are very traditional and they don't really kind of adapt to what we see as blockchain gaming. So that's why we wrote it. So I want to give Hugh maybe, I know the paper was long. It's probably about 7-minute read. It's not too long. It's a pretty light read, but in maybe like 30 seconds or less, just a very basic, what does the proof of mastery, even if you can just sum it up in like a sentence or something, what is the proof of mastery? What is this whole big idea?
So, proof of mastery is a mechanism that we use, and we try to base it around, once again, that whole gaming, that whole grinding, about token distribution. So basically, it takes all the great parts of proof of stake, where you basically stake, and as you continue to grind and you've reached that mastery level, you're essentially put into this pool. The same mechanisms you put into this pool. Those that have mastered, that are level 100, get put into this pool. The system draws, and you're distributed your tokens, and you continue on as conversions continue to happen on the platform.
So it's kind of like a way to reward players who are essentially playing the game, as well as reward players who are using the traditional crypto methods as well, or the blockchain method. So it's combining gamification and gaming elements to reward players to, whether you want to take this outside of the platform to other games. So let's say, and no plug to any other specific game, but let's say you're playing like a digital card trading game. So you want to promote and you want to reward those players who are constantly grinding the game and constantly playing, and as they grow up, continue to play, get a mastery level, so to speak, but at the same time, rewarding them for holding tokens, being able to um, essentially being able to allow them to be integrated in the whole society of blockchain and tokens and tokenization.
Yeah, yeah. The big drive behind it is just to fuel that interaction, right? So it fuels that interaction in the game and the platform and the entire system. But we still keep that whole mechanism, that whole consensus algorithm, that whole blockchain piece that makes it secure, that makes it decentralized, that makes it important. But we add this main gaming grinding, right? You are interacting with the platform. For us, you're interacting with the platform, and that interaction means that you're getting experience, you're building your knowledge, and you're getting rewarded for that.
So essentially, if I can give an attempt at it, so as a player, what does this mean for me? So I will be essentially logging onto the platform. I will be jumping on to playing games, converting,
Yep.
and I'll be gaining XP. Is that correct?
Yep. Yep.
And then I'll be able to continue to play, continue to gain XP, maybe do some functions, whether they're, hey, claim 4 challenges in in the season 2 of games, and claim those 4 challenges, get some more XP, and then continue to go from level ones to all the way up to level 100, and that's my goal, is to get to 100.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And your goal is to get to 100, and you'll be able to track your progress, track your points. You add, you enter a tournament, you build your team in that tournament. You guys win, you guys, place. You're getting experience points, and your XP continue to rise. And as your XP rises, you go from level 1, level 2, all the way to mastery at level 100. And when you are at level 100, you've grinded your way through. You've reached that mastery level. You stake your tokens, and you get rewarded, right? You feel good. It's just like finishing that long game. You've started from noob to advanced, and now you got your badges behind you. You've got your mastery, and you've got proof of it.
So it's essentially like the end game, but not really, but the end game for the platform, or for end game for any sort of game that's involved with blockchain and gaming, and rewarding those players for reaching that end game and for kind of staking and being able to hold their tokens.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. One thing I am seeing as well right now, and it kind of gets into the current state of where we are right now, and kind of how people are uh, talking or treating sort of blockchain and gaming and kind of cryptocurrencies and stuff. It's an interesting, not a phenomena as yet, but I'd say it's an interesting position that people kind of put themselves in, where they are heavily, let's say they're heavily involved on the token side of things. They're heavily, a token enthusiast. They believe in that token or a coin, or if it's on Bitcoin network or anything like that. But they believe in the token or coin, and they don't really see the other sides of it for the technology or for the gaming standpoints, or what these things can, or what they do essentially. So they're, whether they're watching the markets or watching the pricing, they're kind of holding the tokens for that aspect, and then they're missing out on the game element specifically. And I'll just obviously speak about gaming tokens, but they're missing out on the gamification of the token and what's that token being used for, or its current utility. And I think that's where we're still struggling to see some people rise up for being kind of the first to market for major utility for their tokens. But I think this, for me, proof of mastery kind of brings everything all together, where you can still appreciate the token for the whole blockchain elements and the cryptocurrencies, because that in itself is kind of a phenomenon, and that's, as we've seen for over the last few years, have grown in popularity. But you can also appreciate it for its utility. So combining the utility of using the platform and using the token, and appreciating its actual value in terms of cryptocurrencies, comes to this proof of mastery. That's where you become mastery level, and it's almost kind of it's a state of being.
Ooh.
Ooh, ooh, it's a state of being where you've reached a point where you're just dipping into both sides. You're
Yeah,
dipping into the gaming elements and the whole kind of the use of the coin, and you're dipping into the value and the cryptocurrency of it.
yeah. It,
You've reached
that,
a level of mastery.
you got the proof.
You've got the proof. Right? That I think that's just what it is. Like you've reached a position where you're actually no longer thinking about just the tokenization and just the value, but you're actually grinding and making use. I feel like if we saw this kind of protocol or this kind of push in big startups and like crypto kitties for
Mhm.
something like that, I feel like you'd see um, sustained longevity.
I think so. And when we looked at it, we were like, you know what? Like, what is it that we're missing? What is it that gaming projects or the blockchain gaming projects are missing? And it's that gamification element, that mastery element, that interaction element. Like, you know, I'm grinding and I've got a goal to grind towards, right? Like, why am I doing any of this,
Hmm.
right? What's my incentive for converting? What's my incentive for being on the platform? And as you grind your way up, you'll find that it becomes harder, and you got to do more, and you got to put more work in, and you got to immerse. Oh, you got to immerse yourself into it.
Immerse
No,
yourself.
you like that one,
No,
right? You
but
got to
that's
immerse
exactly
yourself
it.
into it, right?
Yeah.
And so you've got all these components that flow through that everything you do, you're working towards that level 100 proof of mastery. And when the incentives, the rewards and incentives get paid out, and you're at level 100, you know that you put the grind in for that.
Yeah. No, I totally hear, and we are super excited about Proof of Mastery and when it's going to make its debut, and kind of pushing all those elements towards that. And right now, as I said, we will be dropping that in its not its totality right in the first update for XP system, but you'll see that kind of go, and we labeled that in the token report at about 20% circulation for the tap coin. Then you'll see Proof of Mastery kind of fully go in. So there's a few more drips that we will be giving out, but the drip will essentially reach a state where Proof of Mastery protocol will take over, and there will essentially be that'll be the version that we're going forward and pushing forward for gaming and blockchain gaming. And I think that's a good place to be. So boom, we'll get started and we'll get going on to the next topic. And it's a hot and heavy topic, and we won't spend too much time because we're gonna leave a little bit for next week's or next time's episode.
Hmm.
But I want to touch a little bit, just touch a little bit. I don't want to go into the politics of what's happening,
Oh,
but it needs to be mentioned
yeah.
about current events, about what happened with, we're not going to go on a side about who was right, who was wrong,
No.
but about how it almost the value for blockchain gaming and the value to allow players to keep their assets or hold their assets. I think there's a strength and value there because of the fact what we saw about uh, through the Hearthstone player and Blizzard.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about that.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, that kind of spawns a conversation about developers, publishers having this power to be able to control someone's assets. Let's say in a game, it's not this specific game, but let's say in any game, will we ever see a point where developers have a power to be able to say, Hugh, you grinded 45 hours in Apex Legends. You had this skin. I'm gonna take it away now, right?
Okay. No, you.
It, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it,
Yeah.
it goes to that point to say, is blockchain gaming and is the whole control of assets that much more important in this day and age? I
I
don't know if it is, but
I think so. I think that's why it's one of those things why gaming and blockchain, that hybrid is moving so fast and moving so hard because once again we go back to grinding. You put in the work. You worked hard for that skin, and that skin is yours. so you should have access to it. You know, that's just sort of the movement. I don't know.
I wonder what it's going to take to, because right now we're seeing a lot of, we're going towards a heavy subscription model for gaming. We're
Hmm.
almost reversing back to cable in the 90s where everything was a subscription base and you pay per channel essentially. But we're going to a heavy subscription base, especially with Google Stadia coming out. I believe it's next month, or I believe it is next month. But you're essentially subscribing to a host of games that you don't belong to, essentially. And you look at, I know it's doing very well, and I always look at it and kind of see what they're doing. But the Xbox Game Pass, it's very good value, to be honest. It's like $10 or something, and no promotion for Xbox
No, no.
unless Microsoft, unless you're calling us, you ain't gonna get promoted here. But it's a great value. It's like ten bucks. I think it's $10 per month, and you get access to like 200 games, and all the new Microsoft exclusive games come out on Game Pass, and you get access to them. So for $10, let's say Gears 5 is out right now. Let's say Gears 6 comes out, boom, you got it, right? But you do not own your titles. You have a ability to purchase that title after for a very discounted amount, but it all belongs to the digital realm, right? So that in itself is, that's, are we going to see kind of a squeeze on assets and in-game rewards kind of be owned and digitalized and subscribed to the way we're seeing kind of games and collectibles in that aspect?
Hey, yeah, that's actually a good point. I don't know, right? At what point do you stop owning a skin and you have to subscribe to skins?
Exactly. Oh, you have to subscribe per month to hold that skin. Ooh, ouch.
Ooh.
You know who I can see doing that? EA. EA. And EA, if you want to come talk to us,
Yeah, we're
because I
happy
will
to talk.
talk to you. We will be happy to talk. But no, that's something that they have run into time and time again about microtransactions. Oh yes, they did it. They did try and do it already with Darth Vader in Star Wars Battlefront. I think it was two. They try to sell you the game for $75 and then try to charge you like $2 a month or $5 to get Darth Vader.
Hey, I wouldn't be surprised in the next FIFA if every time you kick the ball into the crowd that you get charged for it,
Oh,
right?
that's, what's funny enough? That kind of sounds like a blockchain FIFA game because every time you would kick, you would have to put something on
It's like
chain. If it's on chain, you'd have to make a transaction and gas. That game would be kind of slow. I'd assume if everything's on chain like that.
you'd be broke at the end of it.
Yeah, just to kind of score, you'd be broke.
Uh,
Oh, that'd be too funny though. But that is kind of, I'm fearful of that kind of going down that road, and I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the road that we'll be going down, but it's interesting that that is the way that they're currently going with like DRM and the rights for games.
mhm.
It's only going to take one or two to actually go into, the assets and the rewards and the reward systems, in-game currencies and in-game assets for players. And I think that's going to be a bad time if we ever see it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you just got to keep a close eye on and see who attempts it first, because somebody's gonna try it, right?
Hmm.
Somebody's gonna try it, subscribe for skins.
And they're going to retract it really quickly once they get, a million down votes or a million thumbs down
Yeah,
on YouTube or Reddit or something, right?
yeah.
But they'll try it at least and then apologize later, because if it works, then they've just made billions of dollars.
There we go.
Right. Let's hit up to what we're going to be talking about next time. It is a very big topic, and it kind of leads into what we've been alluding. And if you have been sticking to our Telegram channel, you do know that we've been talking about a partnership that we've been really gung ho about, and that we've been really diving into over the last little bit. And we won't be teasing exactly that, but we'll be teasing a little bit. It has to do with esports.
Hmm.
Has to do with esports and blockchain gaming, and Tapcoin and the Tap project and esports is coming soon. And we'll be able to talk about that in more and more detail in the coming months. Hopefully, if things kind of go as they are currently going right now, which is well, they are going well, and we are kind of moving along with that team. So we will lead into kind of what does esports what does esports and blockchain have to offer and its value? And I know, Hugh, you have a lot to share on that, but just give the viewers a tidbit, kind of, I think it's, what did you call it? A fractionalization of esports ownership.
Oh, that wasn't me.
Oh,
That was you.
oh, but that is the space that allows gaming, esports, and blockchain to kind of live harmoniously. And imagine owning an
Oh, yeah.
esports team.
Are you gonna drop? Oh, you dropped it already.
What?
Drop
I
the bomb.
did?
Drop the bomb.
I
Imagine
dropped the
owning an
bomb.
esports team.
But that is for next time. So I thank you guys for listening to this podcast and catching up with us one more time. We will be, as we said, we'll be doing these a lot more. We just got really busy, obviously, as we said before at the beginning. But if you guys have not, please drop us a like on YouTube, follow us on Twitter, Tap Coin, on Instagram, all the social media, Tap Project, on Telegram as well, t.me/tapcoin, and hit us up, give us
Yeah,
a shout.
yeah. And those in the community, don't worry. We see you. We hear you. We're we are paying close attention to what's happening in the community, in the Tap community. As Hannah said, we've been working on this partnership. We've been heads down. We've been linking all the pieces. Never done so much paperwork in my life. There's a lot going on, and when it's all said and we can start throwing out the details, this will be one of those. I'm not going to overhype. One of the things we don't do is we don't overhype things.
Under promise, over deliver, right? I
Right,
think
every time.
I didn't say it wrong. Over promise, under deliver. Like some people, not gonna name any names.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
But,
But you know what? It's gonna be good for the Tap project. It's gonna be good for the gaming. It's gonna be good for the blockchain world. It's gonna be good for esports. It's gonna be that holistic tie-in that
okay, just get to it. It's huge.
no.
Oh, okay.
It
I
is.
didn't say it. No,
It is.
it's big, but it's huge. But anyways, we'll leave that to next time. Again, guys, we thank you guys for all the support and continues to talk to us, continues to drop us a line. We will be, we'll do whatever we can to communicate and reach out. We're always there, open, transparent. Give us a shout. Let us know. Give us any sort of feedback. And yeah, that's what we'll do. Take us out. Take us out, Hugh.
Tap into a world that is more than just gaming.
Let's go.